Game update detected. Balance changes promised. Balance remains theoretical.
Alrighty, let's dive straight into it. The 16th anniversary bundle for Star Trek Online is officially here, and with it we have the Enterprise Starship Bundle. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I have been staring at the blog posts for a few days now, trying to find that spark. You know that feeling? When you want to be excited because it's a big milestone year, but instead you just kind of feel tepid?
The thermal readings of your enthusiasm are indeed comparable to a lukewarm cup of Earl Grey tea. It is statistically underwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I get it. Enterprise, the show, eventually found its feet, but those first 2 seasons, man, they were rough. I kind of remember watching them and thinking, is this where the cracks in the foundation finally break the house? It was hard to watch, and honestly, this bundle feels like kind of really accurate reflection of that era. It's just there.
Price point evaluation 16,000 Zen, currently discounted to 12,000 Zen. In United States currency, this equals $160 for digital Starship hulls.
Look guys, it's $160. Let that sink in. We're talking about a live service game, and I know this is how they keep the lights on, but let's be realistic. $160 for a bundle that feels like it was dropped with, I don't know, almost zero fanfare? I mean, compared to the 14th bundle, or even the 15th, although that's understandable, the hype for this one was kind of non-existent. It was just like, oh, by the way, here's some ships.
Logic dictates that a 16th anniversary lacks the mathematical prestige of a 15th. However, the inclusion of the Xindi-Primate Ateleth Dreadnought Cruiser is a significant tactical shift.
See, that's the thing. M5 mentioned this ship. I don't know. It has that superpower ingenuity trait, the one for the beam overload. Now, if you are a matter chaser, a min-maxer, you're probably salivating, but for the rest of us, I didn't even know this ship existed in the game's wider consciousness. And is that worth $160? I don't think so. Not for me.
Your lack of Xindi historical knowledge is noted. It is a biological cruiser. It has tentacles.
Gross? Anyway, let's talk about what is actually in the box. So, we have Suurok class Vulcan Science Spearhead. Now this I kinda like. I always had a soft spot for the Vulcan aesthetic. It's sleek, logical, and it doesn't look like a recycled NX class. I might, now take this with a grain of salt, I might pick that one up individually. Same goes for the Andorian Kumari Pilot Light Battlecruiser. Now, before we go there, M5, please pull up the Suurok.
Suurok Science Destroyer. It features a Commander Science/Intel seat and a Lieutenant Commander Tactical/Command seat. It possesses a tactical mode toggle which swaps these positions.
Okay, so let's pause here. A Science Destroyer with a command seat. I don't know, it is kind of interesting. I was thinking maybe you can run it as EPG boat, or then flip the switch, get a experimental weapon slot, and then you're a kind of a heavy hitter. The console is with delivery. It says that it has a speed boost that debuffs enemies in a cone. It's very Vulcan. Quick, clean, and a bit annoying for the other guy. But again, are you buying the bundle for a ship that looks like a giant ring? Maybe. I think it's the best looking ship in the pack. That's kind of a low bar. And also, I have to mention before I continue, everything I'm talking about here is what it sounds like on a paper. I haven't actually played these ships, so these are kind of my initial feelings and thoughts about it. We'll see how any of those traits and consoles actually play in the game. But now let's move on.
Next, the NP Miracle Worker Light Escort, the Warp Delta. It is a 5/1 weapons layout with a Commander Universal / Miracle Worker seat.
The Warp Delta? It kinda looks like a triangle that had a bad day at the shipyard. But on the other hand, it has some interesting seating. We have Commander Universal Miracle Worker. It can give you flexibility. It also comes with a triptych tactical control node. It basically calls in Wingman, and it's a mini carrier that thinks it's a fighter. If you like, I don't know, maybe high-speed flanking, this might be your ship. But I've seen some of the images and some of the videos online. It feels so tiny. And honestly, I feel like one stray photon torpedo from Borg Cube would just turn it into scrap metal. On the other hand, I think a lot of ships would share that same destiny when it comes to the Borg. But anyways, let's move on.
Transitioning to the NV Multi-Mission Temporal Cruiser, it is the Enterprise era Intrepid. It features molecular reconstruction and a Commander Tactical / Temporal seat.
The Enterprise Intrepid. It's kind of a kit bash dream, I guess. It has that Okinawa variant skin. Mechanically, it is a temporal ship, so it's a solid for maybe exotic damage or DOT builds, but it is a 4/4 layout, a 4/4 cruiser in a premium anniversary bundle. I don't know, it kind of feels dated. It feels like something we would have been hyped for back in 2018. On the other hand, I love my broadsiding, so maybe I'll make something out of it. Who knows?
Finally, the Andorian Kumari Pilot Light Battle Cruiser. 5/3 layout, Commander Engineering Pilot. It features the Ushan Declaration console.
Okay, now we're talking. The Kumari 5/3 layout on a pilot ship, that is aggressive. And the console, the Ushan Declaration, it literally tethers you to an enemy for a space duel. That's kind of delightfully messy. If you win the duel, you get a damage boost. If you lose, well, don't lose. This is the ship I might actually fly. It's got that Andorian fire first, ask questions later energy that I really do appreciate.
Summary. The bundle contains 1 meter-defining trait for beam, overload, and 4 ships with specialized niches. Total value is subjective.
Sure, more pew-pew is always the logic, but when we get to the things in a bundle like Drexler skin for the NX, look, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, and Doug Drexler is a legend. For those of you who don't know, he's a VFX artist and absolute legend. But is a new skin enough to justify a bundle purchase when most of us already own like 3 versions of the NX by now? It feels they're just hitting the member berries button again. Remember the NX? Here it is again, but with a slightly different nacelle.
The nacelle geometry has been altered by 4%. It is a revolution in Starship design.
Groundbreaking, truly. Look, if you're chasing the meta, if you're trying to top the DPS charts, what's here for you? I don't know. If you love Enterprise, and I know a lot of you guys do, then maybe this is your dream. For me, currently, I'm gonna be keeping my wallet closed. for now. And I'm gonna wait until I can actually see these things in action. Actually go into the full stats and see if there's some kind of a hidden flavor I'm missing. Because right now, I feel like there's something missing from the soul of this bundle. And for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what it is. But it kind of just feels empty?
Perhaps the missing component is a reasonable price to value ratio.
Probably. Anyway, that's the state of the fleet. Kinda tepid reaction on my side. I got an expensive price tag and a whole lot of meh from my chair. We'll see how it plays out once, the patch hits.
The patch will arrive, the Zen will be spent, the cycle continues.
It always does. So, until the next one, M5, full impulse, and engage.
Support the organic creator, like, share and subscribe.